We've only got 2 more metals to go over here before we get into our next test. So our next test is going to be Monday, alright?
Wednesday.
I mean Wednesday because it's Labor Day. Sorry about that. Wednesday. Lead. Lead's kind of an odd metal because it's so heavy and yet it's so soft, right? It was smelted and used in early times as ornaments, pipes, weights, and other articles. So if we look at that, ornaments, is that probably what you want to use for ornaments? Probably not, I've been touching them, I don't know. How about pipes? Probably not the best application, any way you look at it, right? Even if it's a exhaust pipe, something like wastewater or something, still something impacts it, it's gonna break, right? If it's soft. And obviously if it's like water going in, it's poisonous, right? Weights is probably pretty good, right? These are for counterweights. There was a fork truck that had lead weights that, there used to be a fork truck place next door, and the guy told me that there was a certain fork truck that had lead for counterweight. I think it was Clark fork trucks. And he said, I just take them, I build a campfire, and I melt it down, and then run it into the ground, and then I take the lead back to scrap. That can't be very healthy, right? So, lead is a decent metal for scrap. I can't remember what the last time I looked it was, but a decent amount for scrap, so. But you gotta handle it, right? So. Is there any fishermen in here? Are you allowed to use lead anymore, or is it?
Not supposed to.
You're not supposed to? You're saying yes, you're saying no. You don't fish together.
Well, we live in PA, I live in New York.
Oh, there's a difference. You can't in New York?
No.
What about, is there still ducks? If you're shooting ducks, you gotta
No,
use,
you gotta have steel
you
trap.
gotta use steel? For some reason I thought that changed, I don't know why, but obviously it's poisonous in the water, right? You get in the waterways and it's not good. That's why lead is kind of phased out in most applications because it's poisonous. Galena. Is a dark, heavy mineral. It also has zinc. Oops. And sometimes silver. I actually missed a bullet here. I wanted to make something up here. That was supposed to be after this one, so don't get mixed up here. But is the most common lead ore. And it is also a dark heavy mineral that also has zinc and sometimes silver. It is a sulfide. S. Now we're back on track. We'll look it up here in a second. also called lead glance. Natural mineral form of lead sulfide. We already know that. An important source of silver as well. We just said that. There it is. Kind of looks like coal, right? Jasper County, Missouri. You have to love Jasper County, Missouri. Galena ore is ground into small pieces and all the impurities are separated by flotation. So Galena ore is ground into small pieces and all impurities are separated by flotation. How do you get to say the word? You know what I'm talking about? Where the voice comes out and says, Helena. How to pronounce? I've never done that before. Yeah, we're saying it right.
Helena.
Oh. Yeah. Between iron, whoops, wrong one, molten lead.
Watering. 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 Watering.
What the hell's word?
Watering.
Come on, astronaut was next.
Why is there a lot more?
Okay. Molten lead is then drawn off the bottom of the furnace. See what it says about lead applications. I'm kind of curious to see what it. Oh, I forgot about car batteries. It's a big one, right? That's why you can take car batteries back for like $7, right? Pigments, ammunition. I guess that's probably a pretty big, think about how many bullets are made in a year. Like worldwide, that's a huge amount of oh, here we go. Batteries is 80%, look at that. Ammunition's only 3%. Pigments and other compounds, does that mean paint? They still make lead paint? It's gotta be what it is, right? Pigments? And others. Am I colorblind? Is ammunition? That's purple. That's the purple, right?
Yeah.
I'm technically colorblind, but I don't know, I can still see colors, but when I took my CWI exam, they told me I was colorblind. you don't see reds and greens right. Okay? So anytime I like color stuff, I always run by somebody else first. Batteries, 80%, that's unreal. I would have thought ammunition would have been more, but. Think about the amount of ammunition just that goes with the military. When you're practicing, they got those 50 cals just going, and the shells are just raining down. That's why they have a whole separate term for cartridge brass, right? We'll go over that later when we go over brass, but it's called cartridge brass. Think about how much brass is going into those bullets that are this big, right? Or the ones that are this big that, you know, they're shooting out of airplanes and things. And, yeah. People don't realize how much the military affects the economy, right? There's companies in the area that, without the military, they probably wouldn't even be here, right? So, all military contracts. Aluminum is the best material ever made. That's just my personal opinion. Is the machine good?
Yeah.
Look at the machinist area over here. Machine's good, right? You can slam right into it. Well, finish a little rough,
It gets gummy.
gets gummy, right? Yeah, it's the same thing with, that's why you can't grind it, right? I had this guy at Buff State, you can't grind aluminum. I said, they have wheels that are just for aluminum now. No, they don't. So I brought him one in, he was just dumbfounded by it. You're not supposed to put it in a grinder, right, because the aluminum gets into the stones, right, and then supposedly explodes. And I don't know, I've never seen it actually explode, but I try to follow the rules too, so, you know, they tell me not to do something, I usually do it a little bit, see why they told me not to, and then, you know, I follow the rule after that. That's the way to do it. No, I'm just kidding. If they tell you not to do something, don't do it, right? Wear your masks. So, aluminum, the good thing about aluminum is it's got a high strength to weight ratio, right? It's strong, but it doesn't weigh anything. We went over this last class, somebody else said it doesn't rust, right? It's got aluminum oxide on the outside, so it doesn't rust. There was something else too, what was the other one? Strength to weight ratio, doesn't rust. I don't know. It's good material. Between iron aluminum and copper. I don't know why your book chose to compare those three metals, but they did. And the book is always right. Just like Google and the newspaper. Between iron, aluminum, and copper, aluminum is by far the most abundant in the Earth's crust. Wants an apostrophe. Because again, you got to draw out an ore, right? To start this out. Approximately 7.5% of the Earth's crust, 2 times in a row, is made up of aluminum. That's got to weigh out a little bit, right? Think about 7.5% of the Earth's crust. You know how big that is? That's a lot of mass. Lost it, bauxite. Whoop. See, this is what I wanted right here.
Boxite,
Yeah, they're right.
bauxite, 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 bauxite.
Alright. You gotta check these metallurgy things, and you'll hear people talk about certain things, and one person will pronounce it one way, one person will pronounce it another way. I figure just go to the tool, make sure you're doing it right? Like all those ores that we did the other day, we should have done with every one of them. But bauxite is the ore most used in the production of aluminum, and is found in very rare places, which I want to look up and see if they actually give us rare places. What does that mean, right? It means that it's hard to get to is what it means. Where exactly is that? I don't know. We're gonna research it here in a minute. So I had that on a clicker pre-quiz one time, and I had rare places and everybody was laughing at it. I was like, "Oh, that's actually the answer." But we'll look it up on the Wikipedia. It never fails, right? Wouldn't it be funny if we just said rare place? That's what the book says, so I didn't. So I keep blaming the book. It's a very good thing to blame. Under bauxite, the bauxite goes through two processes. First, a refining process breaks down the ore into its components, which just happen to be silicone, iron, titanium oxide, water, and of course aluminum oxide. So out of the stuff that's in it, what's useful, what's not? Silicone, is that useful? That's pretty useful, right? Iron, useful? Yeah. Titanium? Yep. Water? Who needs water? That's probably the most useless thing out of it all, actually, but the water all over the place, right? You don't need to get it out of an ore. Aluminum oxide. So they're all useful. Nobody needs water. The aluminum oxide is dissolved by a caustic soda which makes aluminum hydroxide. Settle to the bottom of the tanks to be pumped out. Caustic soda. Second, the aluminum oxide. Called alumina. Refined into metallic aluminum by the electrolytic reduction process. Further break it down, right, to something usable. A sedimentary rock with relatively high aluminum content. There's a piece right here, they got a penny in there to show you how big it is. They discovered it in a village of Les Baux in province southern France. Okay, there's the production and reserves. So the most is Australia, China, Guinea, Brazil, India, Indonesia, Jamaica, Russia, Kazakhstan, Vietnam, South Arabia, Greece. What's that? Guyana and other countries. So that's what they're talking about with rare places. You can see it dotted all over the world there. All right, so what is aluminum's primary applications? What do you think it is? Where's the one with the, that's not the one with the, this one. That's the one that gives the pie chart, isn't it? Don't let me do it. What about tin cans, right? Low density. Heat conductor. Heat travels through aluminum very well. That's why it's difficult to weld. The welders in here, they can vouch for that. The heat travels so fast through it that it's hard to keep it focused in one area long enough to get it to melt. Good ductility, that depends. The ductility, that's where your grades come in, right? If you have to bend something, ductility means the ability to bend. You're going to want to get, don't quote me on on this, but I think 60, 63. Bends very well, I believe that's the correct one. If you got like a 3003 series and tried to bend it, it'll snap like nothing. As soon as you bend it, it's gonna snap. There's no ductility, or little ductility. Corrosion resistance, catalyst, combustion. Ammonium, aluminum explosives, anybody know what that is? Anybody ever shot tannerite? You ever notice there's a little powder, that powder that you mix with it? That's aluminum. Mixed with some quality fertilizer. Boom. That was used in the bombing in, was it Oklahoma City or Timothy McVeigh blew up the, was it Capitol building?
Federal building.
Federal building, and you had a van full of that. It was fertilizer. It was fertilizer. It was the exact same thing as tannerite. I don't know exact, but that's basically what it was. Decorative. It has a silver luster. Low temperature resistance. Reflective. Yep, that's a good one. Additives. Sound absorbing. This is not the one that has the pie chart, but I guess we'll go back up to the first one here. That actually had glows. There we go. Again, lightweight, strong, resistant to corrosion, durable, ductile, malleable, conductive, odorless. Let's go back to malleable. Malleable is the ability to be pounded into shape, so you can hit it with a hammer and it will move wherever you hit it, right? Again, depending on the grade. Conductive, that's a big one. Conducts electricity very well. Not as good as copper, but it does very well, and it will lighten the weight of stuff that needs to be lighter in order to ship more economically, or for whatever application it's used. If they need it lighter, they put aluminum in it. Odorless, I don't know why that's a common uses. Transportation, I never thought about it as transportation, but yeah, like airplanes, right? Aluminum. This is looks like a high-speed rail system. High-speed rail systems like the Shinkansen in Japan and the Makalev in Shanghai. I'm sure I just butchered that. Construction, right? All kinds of stuff in construction, I guess you could say. Electrical's a big one. 63% of electrical conductivity of copper. Aluminum's low density makes it best option for long distance power lines. If copper was used, support structures would be heavier. I forgot about that. The lines in the power, they're aluminum because the copper would be so heavy it would sag really low and cause problems. What about aluminum foil? I never thought about that. How much aluminum foil is there? Apple MacBooks, consumer goods. What was the one that had the... Is that the one that had the pie chart in it? Metallurgy, yeah. Is there a search button in here? Aluminum. They don't have the applications though.
Number 3 on the side.
Which side? Am I right?
Yeah.
Well, there it is. Ooh, this is a nice little website, isn't it? We already went through that. Didn't give the pie chart. I wanted the pie chart. Yeah, it's not gonna give me the pie chart.
What if you just Google pie charts for
try that, then I'm gonna give up. Oh, there it goes. Whoops. I'm just curious, I like cans, that's gotta be a huge, huge one, right? There we go. Oh, they're actually using, companies.
There you go, come on.
There's lithium. It's not gonna give it to us. Alcoa is a company, well, I went to Alcoa in Michigan, and they went over why they use they went over like cans and why they're neck down, and people think it's because they stack. It's actually because they use a lower grade aluminum on the outside, or it's either the outside or the ends, one of them's a lower grade. That's why they neck it down, because it costs more, so it's actually necked down for cost. That's all we got for notes.